Welcome everybody to another episode of the Will and Rock podcast. Not much going on, but there are some big names. So what's the first topic in here, Will?
So it's officially been booked. Max Holloway versus Frankie Edgar, UFC 218. This is taking place December 2nd.
Where are they fighting at, you know? Detroit. I think they're fighting in Detroit.
You're right. I think they are fighting in Detroit. This is just funny because this is the fight we really wanted, right? We really want to see Frankie Edgar go in there, get a chance. We thought at one point that he deserved to fight Conor McGregor at one point, right?
Absolutely. I think that was the fight to make, too.
No, but even better than that is this fight. This fight is amazing. Frankie Edgar versus Max Holloway. It's a great fight depending on how either one of them finishes. They could also call out Conor McGregor. We have to, you know.
Yeah, I personally don't think that McGregor's going to drop that much.
No.
I just don't think that's going to happen. But anything is possible with McGregor. So I do, you know.
I don't know, but I believe so. I mean, you know, Kevin Lee and Tony Ferguson had a chance to call out Conor McGregor, and so did Tony Ferguson because he won the fight. I feel like he, you know, anybody that could win between these two fights versus Max Holloway and Frankie Edgar, I mean, why not call him? Fuck that, you know what I mean?
No, hands on. Let's talk about the actual fight, though. You got someone like Frankie Edgar who is so freaking relentless in the amount of pressure he puts on you. He doesn't step back.
Yeah.
And then you have someone like Max Holloway who really has a presence that doesn't allow people to come in so much because he's so quick on his feet.
Right.
This is, if you look at it on paper, this fight is either going to be in the ground a lot or it's going to be bouncing everywhere around the octagon throwing punches.
Yeah, I don't see this fight going to the floor. I can see Frankie Edgar, like when there's a minute on the first round, he'll probably go and take him down. But I feel like Frankie Edgar might be a little quicker. I think the sharper one for sure is Max Holloway. I mean, the performances he's been doing as of late have been completely amazing. His hands have been really great. I just want to know whether or not he's going to keep up with Frankie Edgar's pace per round.
Well, this is also a great fight in the sense that you have the veteran versus the young guy.
Yeah.
You know, and someone like Frankie who we still feel like it was just yesterday that he was fighting BJ Penn.
Yeah.
But man, he has so many huge fights, and he's one of these guys that never backs down from a fight.
No.
Always pushes Dana to the court to get him a freaking good fight.
And he always performs. I've never remember like a fight that Frankie Edgar was in that it was not like historical.
The way he beat Yaris, it was beautiful, man. Just so relentless. Made him look like an absolute rookie and somebody who had a big name behind him. Would he be able to do this to Max Holloway? That's the big question, you know?
That is the big
Think if Frankie finds a way to beat him the way he beat Yaris, it's gonna be like, man, there's a lot of work that Max Holloway has to do to reach the veteran that is Frankie Edgar if he ends up winning a fight like this. And also depending on how he wins, like I said.
Max Holloway is just championship level. This kid is a championship level. I mean, he has the belt for a reason. He's just a beast, man. I love to see him fight. He's just so technical with everything he does. It's beautiful to watch him.
One of these guys too was like you saw him fight as a young fighter, and you're like, I don't see this guy ever becoming a champion.
But I love to say that sometimes.
Of course,
because
like Tony Ferguson's another perfect example.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like seeing somebody from like pretty much like nothing to the weight. You know how much time and dedication you have to go to a level like that. So I agree, man.
Yeah.
It's why I love to see that Ultimate Fighter winners like Tony Ferguson go from that, like a Rashard Evans, go from that all the way to where they each had belts.
And you never see it. You're like, this guy's gonna last for a bit.
Yeah, it's not even.
But it's the growth. Like, it's a perfect example.
Cool.
It's somebody who's fighting at amateur to fighting in the big spotlight.
Right.
It's pretty impressive.
The other one that has officially been booked, which I'm super excited about, this is Rafael dos Anjos versus Robbie Lawler, and this is UFC 26, and this is taking place December 16.
Wow, this is a great freaking fight, man.
Yeah.
After what Dos Anjos did to Magny, and completely dominated Magny, I am curious of how much of the ground game he's going to try to use on Robbie.
I agree with you. I mean, if I don't know if he really wants to stand up with Robbie Lawler.
I wouldn't want to stand up with Robbie Lawler. That's a huge mistake trying to.
Well, with that being said, Dos Anjos he wants to get you in the cage and rough you up a little bit, maybe take you down after a minute in the round. Could he get? I would like to think that Robbie Lawler is really, training takedown defense without a doubt.
He's a veteran. He's been there before, so
yeah,
he's hard to take down, man. He
is hard to take down, and Robbie Lawler's hands are no joke. So it's one of those fights that I'm really looking forward to. This is world-class championship level fighting right now.
Yeah, and especially someone like Dos Anjos who took a couple of losses and then found his way back into the winning column, and now he's fighting Robbie Lawler. This is a huge fight for him.
Yeah.
It's a big fight for Robbie just because Robbie is Robbie, right? But I think this fight means more to Dos Anjos than it does to Robbie, my personal opinion.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that. One extra thing that just happened, Daniel Cormier came out on Twitter saying that he would like to fight in 2018. That's when he wants. And he did a poll, so he put a whole bunch of light heavyweights on Twitter, and the fans respond, and Volkan Ozdemir, which I was very surprised that he won, but they did say that he wanted to fight him. And on top of that,
Russian guy, dude.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Look out for him. If you guys don't know who he is, I would recommend YouTube him.
Yeah, Volkan Ozdemir.
Ozdemir. What is it? O-E-Z something?
Yeah, I can't spell that. But anyways, so Daniel Cormier chose him, and I mean, nothing has been booked. Dana White hasn't said anything about this, but I would like to think as a champion. And the people spoke, you might as well make that fight happen, and it's not a bad fight to make.
And it's interesting that he had to set up his fight. It wasn't like he'll leave it somebody else who does that for a living. Yeah. But no, I totally agree. And that is a great fight for Cormier. It's a great fight for Cormier. And obviously for the Russian, it'd be great if Volkan could go in there and beat down Cormier. No one's gonna expect it. Volkan, I don't think, has made a big name for himself.
No.
That he's become a household name yet. So that is huge fight for someone like Volkan, and really make a name for himself overnight.
No, I do agree. Also, the latest news is in UFC Fight Night, November 18. Originally, it was Mark Hunt that was supposed to fight against Tyburn. I have no idea who this guy is. Some guy from Sydney. They're actually fighting in Sydney to begin with. Mark Hunt was supposed to fight him, and all of a sudden, Mark Hunt came out saying that he's had some CTE problems where he forgets things, or he's super emotional here and there. His hormones are all going crazy. This is signs of CTE. He went out publicly and said that, so UFC said, okay, we're going to scrap you out because we don't want you fighting. You need some rest, for his own good.
No,
and decided to put Fabricio Verdum in there. But what happened was that Mark Hunt is not happy with it. And he actually went on Twitter and just cursed the shit out of Dana White. It was ridiculous as half of the stuff he said.
Yeah, he threatened to sue them for the second time.
Yeah. He wasn't happy also that they picked Fabricio Verdum to host it. Now, people might think like that's, he's over exaggerating, but what you have to understand is that if he gets cleared to fight, it's one. If UFC decides that you pull you out the card, and it's not because the commission itself said no, you can't fight because of it, because you think he has CTE, it's one thing, but the UFC just pulled him, but he was completely clear to fight.
Yeah.
So, should he be mad? Yes. Also, they're fighting in Sydney.
That's what hurt me the most, because I was looking for him to fight. That's his hometown.
That's why he's so emotional. Is my point. Yeah, that's why he's so emotional.
As he should be.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, it's not up to the UFC to tell him to not fight. Unfortunately, that it's up to Mark Hunt and his team, his management, to be like, listen, I don't think it's right for you to continue fighting. And it sucks, because I personally don't want to see Mark Hunt fight if he's going to go through all that. But the reality of it is this decision at the end of the day.
And it's a sport. I mean, we're looking at Mark Hunt started, in the early 2000s. He's
fought in Pride.
Right. He fought in Pride back in the days, in K1 back in the days. But if we think about it, getting banged in the head all the way down to where he's almost 45 now. He's on the edge of his career. All those years that took a beating, this is what we're seeing at the end. It's the CTE problem. we're seeing on all the vets, for the most part, people that really took punishment to get to the championship level. Chuck Liddell is a perfect example. But yeah, this is what's going to be happening. But this is what you go into the sport. What do you think? It's not going to happen. It's like going into football and thinking you're not going to have CTE. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be, you're going into the sport knowing that that's going to happen eventually to you. Unless you're, you don't get punched as much, but...
Yeah, if you're like Mayweather, you're fine.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Perfect example. But yeah, so that was it. That's all for today. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at The Will and Rock. Also on Instagram on The Will and Rock Podcast. And what else, bro?
That's about it, man.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe, comment,
Don't forget
like,
YouTube.
dislike, whatever you guys like. Peace.
Have a good one, guys. Peace.